We hit our latest coin in the Caribbean Ocean. Thousands of people saw the clues, hundreds tried to find it, and the person that found it won an Insta360 X5. This is an interview with that diver, Matthew, citizen scientist, photographer, and all-around awesome guy. In this video, we get into treasure hunting, conservation, and the kind of life that calls you deeper. Welcome back to Generations Below. We're a father-son dive team breaking down the gear we love, exploring the world one dive at a time, and hiding treasure along the way. If you find one of our coins, you win real high-end dive gear from brands that we trust. So, you just found something in St. Croix underneath the Frederickstead Pier. What'd you find?
I found a gold coin, and it happened to have a lovely octopus on it. So, yeah. It was quite the treasure hunt. It was a whole bunch of fun.
Awesome. How did the coating hold up on that thing?
It was starting to deteriorate.
That was one week.
Water had gotten in of it, so there was a little bit of a line on it. I'm kind of glad I got to it as soon as I did because, A, hooray, I found it first. And secondly, because, I don't know, a few more days, a couple more weeks or whatnot, the ocean takes back what the ocean can take, so... it would have gotten in and kind of just start to deteriorate it, but it's still in good enough shape. I gave it a freshwater rinse. It's drying off right now.
Awesome. So, man, how did you hear about Generations Below?
I found out about it through Ed Buckley over at Scuba. He shared it on his Facebook page, and I follow him. We've been diving with Scuba for a long time, and they've partnered with the Core Foundation, which I'm a part of as well. We do a bunch of environmental science education and different outreach tasks, and are just kind of involved in the community for coastal cleanups, for dive operations, for invasive species, lionfish removals, all sorts of things like that. So
awesome, man. Hey, shoot me info on that because we're interested in conservation as well. So if you will, shoot me over info for sure.
And every year in St. Thomas and St. Croix, we host a lionfish derby. So it's a one-day event where we give away a few $1,000s.
Awesome.
I think we were 8,000 in St. Croix and like 5,000. No, 8,000 in St. Thomas and 5,000 in St. Croix with a bunch of sponsors and stuff. So yeah, it's a fun event.
Yeah, for sure. So we know Ed because he was kind enough to send us out on a private tour with John and Mackenzie, which was really, really cool. That's he's a forward-thinking guy to latch onto this and go with it. So really cool guy. We're super thankful to St. Croix Scuba. So what do you think about the concept, Matthew? What do you think about two crazy guys hiding gold coins underwater?
I think it's a lot of fun. It's a good motivator to get out into the environment and to be a part of it. And I had this thought this morning where I was kind of just laying around in bed. I was having a bit of a slow morning. I was drinking my coffee. I was flipping through Instagram Reels and TikTok and just being like, well, this is fun, but I also could be out hunting treasure. And that sounds way more cool. So it's a good motivator. It gets people involved in the community and it gets people out in the environment because the more that you know and the more that you're in tune with it, the more you can see changes over time, the more you can just, I don't know, getting outside, sunshine, it's fun.
That's
Do
right.
things. Don't just consume things.
Exactly. So as somebody who has a YouTube channel and is my only job through the hunt or Generations Below, it's kind of weird telling people, stop watching YouTube and go get in the ocean. You know what I mean? But that's exactly what this is. It's a call to adventure. So, man, we're super happy that you found it. So, did you go alone or did your girlfriend go with you?
My girlfriend's over in St. Thomas. So,
okay.
Yeah, so it's a little tough. We've been doing long distance for a while, but things are working out quite nicely, and I'm happy with it. So,
awesome.
Hey, shout out, Leanne. Love you. You're kind of awesome.
And you don't have to share your Insta360 X5 with her.
Exactly. So there's a fun tie on this whole thing too, and I was talking to her last night about it, where she gifted me one of her old GoPro Hero 8s, but it was in a knockoff case, and the O-ring was starting to go bad, and I was like, it'll be fine. So I was diving over at the pier, and we ended up at the very end of the deeper section, and it flooded, and I was like, oh, heck. And not thinking I had a surface marker buoy that I could have tied it to and just rocketed it up 20 feet, and it would have been fine. But I was like, I'll just take it with me. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It was not fine. So this is going to actually replace that. So I appreciate it.
Wait, when did that happen?
This happened probably 7 or 8 months ago.
Okay.
It was a while ago, but yeah, I lost my primary form of video capture after that, and I felt bad because you never want to ruin a gift from your significant other.
Well, you've got a good new way of video capture now. So
yeah,
man, there's a learning curve, and look, it's not gonna look like I use the Ace Pro 2 underwater a lot, or the GoPro Hero 13. Mm-hmm. They're fantastic, right? The GoPro shooting the 10-bit, like it's awesome. But this is so immersive, and you don't have to think about it.
Right.
Is the quality on par? No, probably not.
Right.
But you capture everything, so it's a good trade-off. And for him, he just dives, just holding it. If he's got to do something, he just lets it go, hang from a lanyard. He can do whatever, and it's still capturing content. So. Awesome.
That's really cool. And I haven't played around with 360 footage yet, and it's something I've been intrigued to do so because of how powerful it is and how much image it actually captures.
Yeah.
And so in underwater photography, there's different grades of photos when you're submitting for either photo contests or for scientific research or anything like that. And proof of life is the base level of, you got a shot of it, we can kind of see it, it's not great, it's fuzzy, it's far away, it's blurry, but like we can tell it's that thing. And so I feel like just at the base level of what 360 video can do is just get proof of life. So if someone's like, oh, you didn't see that, you can be like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, and what we found is sometimes we saw stuff that saw us that we never even saw, right? So
exactly.
Get ready, because now you are right in the midst of 360 content. And dude, you get okay, you know how when you're editing, like I came home with 350 gigs from that trip, right? That's across all my cameras. I think I took 8 cameras to St. Croix, which is overkill. But editing flat video or flat stills, you're like, man, which one, and you get that analysis by paralysis. Wait till you have omnidirectional, and you're going to be like, what do I use? Yeah, how do I frame it? So, man, we're super excited for you. So, what did it feel like when you saw that coin?
You'll have to check. We can cut to the video of me actually finding it. So
yeah, I can't believe you recorded it, man. That's awesome.
I had a little bit of foresight because I was like, just in case. And that's a big part of photography, and the same thing is always bring your camera because you never know. And
turn it on, right? Because a lot of times I'll have it and it's not recording, and then something, you're a photographer,
Correct, exactly.
So,
you miss it, it goes by, you miss the moment, etc. And so, yeah, I'm excited for you guys to see my reaction underwater with it too. So
we are so excited.
It was one of those moments though when I first started watching the video, and I was like, there's a bunch of different sites. It's North Shore, it's off of Long Reef, it's outside of Christiansted, but then also started seeing some west stuff going in there. I was like, okay, it's the pier, I know this. And then that corrugated wall is what gave it away to me. The main reason is that like square corrugated wall is only in a small section of the pier, and it's right on that front edge where the concrete land section meets the pillars and starts continuing out. And I know that rubble field and the way it crosses over perfectly. Because I hunt lionfish a lot, and they like to hide up and under rocks and rubble and stuff. So I'm always checking under weird spots and everything like that. And so it just clicked in my brain. I was like, I'm almost positive I know exactly where that is. I really wanted to go out last night. I was super jazzed to go out last night, but I was like, I gotta wait. And I was checking Facebook, and I was checking the website, and I was checking the YouTube comments to see if anyone had posted, if they had found it, or they were going out for it, or that you guys had said anything. But none of it was there, so I was like, I guess I gotta still give it a shot. So
do you know, I know that you said that you got it from Ed Buckley at St. Croix Scuba, but do you know if there had been a buzz on the island after we left about that coin being in the water?
I hadn't heard anything. No, the first thing that I had seen of it was that. I was out diving on Saturday with St. Croix Scuba on Scuba Dose. We do bi-monthly lionfish hunts with them. And so I was literally right by the coin, not knowing where it was. And then after I got finished up those 2 lionfish dives, and I was just laying back at the house, kind of cooling down, got the AC on, enjoying a little bit of time to recharge. It started flicking through Facebook, and sure enough,
this was yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
man,
so I was out there
crazy.
yesterday, not even
That's
knowing
crazy.
the coin was there. I figured it out last night, and I was like, I gotta go now.
That's awesome, man. So are you going to continue to follow Generations Below and try to find some more coins?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
So I do a little bit of travel diving, not a ton, but I'm actually headed over to Texas to the Flower Gardens in September.
We want to go so bad, man. That's like on our bucket list, but he's capped at 50, and I don't think
Okay.
those start until 60.
Yeah, there's 60
Which-
to 90. It's a lot
Yeah.
of nitrox diving, so give it a couple years. You know,
Yeah.
keep working on the certs, keep working your way there,
Yeah.
and also just repetition and practice diving. The more time that you're comfortable underwater, and the more dives, and the more situations that you see come up where you gotta fix an issue or you gotta work with your buddy, like that experience is valuable. Training is important, obviously. Getting your certifications, working with PADI or NAUI or SSI, to do your book work, to know the stuff, to test it, but then actually physically practicing it underwater
Hours.
is
Just
perfect.
hours. Yeah.
And that's what I've been fortunate of, is living here in St. Croix, is that the dive availability is grab a tank, walk in the ocean, and you're
Yep.
diving in 20 minutes.
Yep.
It's that easy, it's that fast. And so I've just been able to rack up dive time in a real short amount of time. I didn't get certified until 2019. I'm the first one in my family. No one, you know, we're land people. We grew up in Dallas.
Yeah.
The ocean wasn't our thing. So
Yeah. So that's awesome, and a connection I wanted to point out. So Matthew, born and raised in Dallas,
yes. Yep.
played
Dallas,
ball here in Texas,
Texas. I sure did.
and we're from Texas. We go to a remote island to hide a coin, and another Texas kid finds it.
Yeah.
We love
exactly.
that. We
It's
love
pretty
that.
cool. So yeah, I'm curious what you guys are up to next, where your next locations are, where do you have planned for travel diving? You know, the Flower Gardens is awesome, and it'll be there for a long time.
Yeah.
We're going with the Lionfish Invitational, so it's a 5-day live aboard dive going out with lionfish researchers, policy creators, and lionfish hunters to kind of get an idea of what the problem is there as far as density, as far as year-over-year data tracking. So it's kind of cool for me too, because I get to participate in a way like adjacent to science. I'm interested in it, but my degree is nothing related to science. I'm a liberal arts major with a political science degree. I've just been exposed and was curious about it, and just step by step have gone, hey, what are you doing with this thing? And just learning through osmosis and asking the right questions to the right people at the right time, having the best attitude that I possibly can, because people just want to hang out with other cool people.
Yeah.
And even though I'm not a scientist, there's still so many ways that I can participate within the marine world. So
Yeah, so his first ocean dive ever, we had gone to Key Largo. The very first time he ever got in saltwater was a NOAA dive with a CFAN, where we did a coral survey. So his very first dive ever. Not a whole lot of coral survey going on.
Sure.
There was a lot of, how do I get buoyant in this saltwater? This is crazy.
Sure,
But,
and just getting comfortable with breathing underwater and buoyancy control and all that kind of stuff, because it's the underwater is so overstimulating. There's so much color, there's so much action, there's so much stuff going on that you're focusing on, and it's a great mental exercise to be able to remain calm with all of that physical stimuli. It's maintaining your own life support system as well as enjoying and observing everything that's going on in front of you. So it is really quite cool.
It is cool. So, hey, do you have any advice for future hunters or viewers whenever it comes to finding a coin? I think I know what it is, but I'll...
Be curious.
Yeah?
Be creative. Pay attention, but also have a balance. And something my grandmother taught me was anything and everything in moderation. So with content consumption, in moderation. I mean, obviously, the bias in me says diving, never in moderation. Do as much as you possibly can.
You're talking to a guy who walked away from a career To dive
go
and have, to dive.
head full into this. Right, exactly. And there's a dream and a desire. I'd love to own my own dive shop at some point, you know, in the right time, the right location. And you know, I'm still working and I just do this as a hobby. You know, I've got my 9 to 5 and I do my weekends, but I'm also greatly appreciative for people like you who are not risk averse, who are saying, hey, let's take a chance. Let's do this. Let's just dive in and see what happens. And it's okay to fail. It's okay to not be good at something when you start, but as long as you stick with it and you're tenacious and you just keep learning along the way, every journey started with, I don't know how to do it, but you gotta figure it out. Don't give up.
Absolutely. Hey, after this, I'm going to get you on a call with my wife so that you can remind her of some of this stuff.
Sounds good.
That's awesome.
And,
so, hey,
and I'd also like to give a message to those who are not necessarily in the scientific community. While it's important and we need scientists in a time more now than ever to not give up and continue to do what they do, when you're involved with it, as you're a scientist, my girlfriend's a marine biologist, she's working on her master's degree right now, so it's a lovely dichotomy between our two experiences, is that both of us ultimately become historians. The work that she's doing scientifically is documentation that someone 50 years from the future can look back on and go, oh, cool, this is a piece of history, this is a data point that I can now put in my chain to influence an analysis. Everything that I do, content-wise, taking photos, taking videos, this right here is a part of history and is something that someone can use along the way to shape their mindset, their mind frame, and also look back on in 50 years and go, wow, look at all that stuff at the pier. It's different now.
Yeah, sure. No, and I think as scuba divers, we all kind of have that responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And even if you don't know it, you know, even kids out there diving, I think that's a great mindset to take on, because I think eventually that leads to more passion for the sea and the animals and everything in it. But two, I think it gives you, ultimately, it will lead to you having more responsibility, self-responsibility over conservation that you can actually impact. I think that's a great thing to say, Matthew. That's awesome, man.
Because ultimately we want to experience the same things that our kids get to experience, that their kids get to experience. And it creates this the generation. It creates that lineage. It creates that legacy that you can then pass down. And so with the preservation and the conservation efforts that you can tangibly do, you're making an impact on all of that stuff still being there for the next generation.
Yep. Hey, so you have a photography page. You have a photography business.
I do.
You want to shout it out?
I would love to. I recently got into underwater photography and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I started with the general basics of land-based photography, understanding image structure, rule of thirds, exposure, aperture, shutter speed, all that kind of stuff, and got that under my belt early, and then parlayed it into the extra challenges that underwater photography comes with the lack of light and the loss of red wavelengths under 10 feet, all that kind of stuff. But if you can follow me at SimSea, SIM_SEA, the number 2, and that is where you can find all of my lovely underwater dive photos. Part of what I try to remember is that every place is different, and just because some other place is different doesn't make it better. And
absolutely.
I try to reframe that in the sense that I've experienced a significant decline in coral coverage and rise in algae and loss of sponge and loss of the diadema, the little sea urchins and stuff. And I've witnessed all of that over time. But I have to keep remembering, like, I went on a dive last week and I found 13 lettuce sea slugs. And there's not a lot of other places in the world that have have slaty gobies that my friend Lee Richter has the Unicorn Award on. He was the first person ever to take a photo of that fish.
Really? That's
just
cool.
Bar none skis. Yeah,
that's cool.
That kind of stuff still exists. And so what y'all are doing as far as the treasure hunting plays well into, there is still so much unknown about even reef shore species of fish.
Yeah.
There's new discoveries taking place every year of new species, of new fish, of new invertebrates, of new everything.
Well,
you just have to need to know where to look and be curious about it.
Go down on a tank dive and you could spend that entire tank on a chunk of rock or reef the size of your sofa. You could literally spend all that time. That's not how we dive, because we get to, we're landlocked divers, so we're like, oh my God, go see it all. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah. But so we dive out of Midland. We're from Midland, Texas. So we're literally desert divers. Like most of our stuff is freshwater, Balmorhea, Blue Hole. I think, I don't know if you've ever seen Scott Bauer Below on YouTube. He's got some great camera stuff, especially for a photographer. He's in the hill country. I think we're going to go dive with him at Spring Lake, which is supposed to be a little beauty down there.
Really nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott's got a lot of good stuff on
slightly underrated
on the
in its dive sites. There's pockets here and there where it's like it's not on any map whatsoever, but the sites themselves are actually not that bad.
Man, we'll wrap it up. I really appreciate your time, Matthew. We're super stoked that you found that coin.
Yeah.
Spread the word, man.
Fun. It was a good hiding spot. It definitely wasn't going to be found by someone just casually swimming by. It was.
I thought it was easy.
It was pretty hard.
Was it?
Pretty hard.
Well, the first one we found the day after.
Okay.
But by a girl who was on her. She was doing her certification dive. Her first open water dive. Found the first one live.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and then we hit one in Blue Hole, and then there was a bunch of wall collapses, and that one never got found.
Never got found.
So we had to go recover it. So, and what's crazy is like, even though we hit it, those same emotions that I'm sure that you were feeling today when you were going after it, we were having those, and like it was our treasure. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something about it. If you love scuba, there's something about you that also loves treasure. We all have a bit of pirate in us. So, man, spread the word. Here's the thing. If this doesn't go, I got to go back and get a job.
Right.
And so what we want to do, ultimately, if this will go and we can, sustain from it, get my wife out of the 9-to-5 grind, but then we'll life school him. His schooling will be running Generations Below.
Right.
And then, he'll never have a 9-to-5. That's the plan anyway. So. Yeah.
It's a nice test. Like, working for yourself, there's nowhere to hide. It is ultimately, you are, the definer of your success or your failure. It is just how tenacious, how smart, and how lucky too. There's obviously a luck component. But like, working for a company, you have that safety blanket. It's
that's right.
I can walk away from this, anytime I want. It's no big deal. It's not my thing. There's always a job out there. But what I also tell myself is that life is genuinely short. And the more that you understand that, and we get this limited, like roughly 80-year period of what we get to do to just define our book. And if our book sits on the shelf and it's 2 pages long that says, they were born and raised, they worked their entire lives, they died. That's not the story that I want to tell. And I feel like that's the story that you guys also don't want to tell. So
that's right. I
wake up every day and I just kind of have that ethos of make sure at the end of it all, the book that's sitting on the shelf that you wrote with your life is one worth reading.
That's right. And write yourself as the hero. Yeah. Like, it's wide open. This is your story that you're telling. So you do it the way you want to do it. Look, you're going to get hate and ridicule anyway. Yep. So go out there and do the thing you want to do. So, yeah, man, we're very much like-minded. So I walked away from a job 3 months ago. I was in finance, and my wife came one day at the end of a very hard week. She said, "You're quitting your job and you're never going back." And the following week, she sent me to the mountains. She said, "I want you to go find yourself." And I met up with a shaman at 42 years old, met a shaman in Colorado, had my vision quest, finally became this person that sits here before you today.
Cool.
And then that led into Generations Below.
Yeah,
man, I appreciate
absolutely.
You.
Fingers crossed. I would love to see it do well. I'd love to see it take off. Keep grinding at it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I appreciate
look forward to seeing what you guys have in the future. So
shoot me your address.
Okay.
I'll get you. I know dive cases were on back order the last time I checked. Okay. Fair warning on those things. Protect it like it's the most brittle thing you've ever touched in your life. Because they're bulbous like that. I mean, like, even if they just scratch so easy, man. But That one might be lagging behind just a little bit, but I'll get that X5 sent right out to you, man.
Cool. Much appreciated, guys.
Yeah,
Genuinely,
man.
I appreciate it. Just the feeling of going to bed being like, I hope it's still there. You never know. And just, yeah, it was genuinely enjoyable. So thank you for putting this all together. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. We'll talk to you later. The hunt
Cool.
is on, man.
The hunt is on. Take care. Be well.
See you, Matthew.
Cheers.
Bye.